Hello everyone, welcome to the Weekly Guest Podcast. My name is Edward Daniel. It's a pleasure to be here again today. Thank you for taking time out to listen. On this week's podcast, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Stephen Partridge. Stephen Partridge is Managing Director of Lit PM. Welcome Stephen, how are you?
Thank you, Edward. I'm fine.
Good. Now then, you are Managing Director of Lit PM, which specialises in project management. Can you tell us a little bit more about what Lit PM provides and offers to its clients?
Yes, certainly. Lit PM is a project management company that provides a bespoke end-to-end service to clients with issues which basically need solving. It starts off with, what is a project? Is it effectively a box which you put desks and comms in, or is it a wider problem that the client has to solve? For us, it's a larger problem, but it still needs to be defined. So we listen, ask questions, get others involved, and pull this into a scope document that everyone can go forward with and believe in. So our projects tend to be property, comms, business related, refurbishment, change projects, relocation, etc. of any type, but the common denominator of our clients who have issues we should solve.
Now, Lit PM specialises in the housing, refurbishment, relocation, environment and finance sectors. Has the level of work within these sectors remained strong throughout the recession?
No, the industry has gone through its worst recession in over 100 years and probably even longer. Property goes in cycles and we're starting a new one. And so we need to be prepared for this and to have learned the new techniques. And what are those techniques? Well, there's new project management techniques, for example, like Scrum management and mobile technologies. And this also then leads on to BIM, which is Building Information Modeling of all types. There are environmental systems which are going to become more important over the coming years, solar, wind, waste to energy, waste to diesel, and also water, transport, and electrical projects. So surrounding all of this are business industry regulations of all types, so there's an awful lot to learn. All of these are wrapped up and brought into new refurbishments and locations to a greater or lesser extent. That these are the projects of the future. And these technologies are changing the way we live, work, and in general do business. And the office has changed more in the last 10 years, for example, than most people even begin to realise. We walk the walk. We've worked closely now with mobile technology, for example, building it over the last 18 months. And this has radically changed the way we work. It's been a complete and utter revelation to us. It's cut our overheads by 30% and fundamentally changed our operations. Now we've earned and possessed the hard-earned experience of that this is now being achieved. We now know the implications of it also, both good and bad, which we can share with other companies. And most other companies have really yet to experience this, and they've got to get a grip with it, because if they just don't, basically they'll go out of business.
So you mentioned there have been good and bad experiences. Can you share those experiences with us?
Yes, well, obviously the good experience is, the good experience of this is firstly obviously a reduction in overheads, and that sounds great. The bad experience of it is, of course, that people are often working remotely, and you have risk issues with people going off and let's say tweeting and going off and being less under control than they normally would be. Communication is more difficult because they're not in the same room. And so what you have to do is you design the offices. Have found that we changed the way we design the offices with fewer desks and many more meeting rooms, and people come together in groups to resolve a project. Very key thing about all this is that you have to keep very defined as to goals and making sure that people do achieve things by the dates that they've got. Because once they've left the office and gone back to site, it's more difficult to keep them under control. I think with many businesses, it's going to present a lot of risks to the way that the business is managed. And I think that's something that people have to change employment contracts, or that things are going to have to change and adjust in many ways over the next few years.
Now, Lit PM's list of services is quite extensive, ranging from project initiation to project closing. A wide range of tasks is involved. from project definition to team setup, management, planning, and monitoring. When commencing new projects, are you personally involved at all levels, or do you delegate the work amongst your team with you at the helm to ensure everything is going to plan?
But the short answer to that is yes to both. And to achieve this and not shortchange the client, the first thing to do is to get involved at the start to create a very detailed scoping document plan. Fortunately, once that's got on board, I have on board teams that I can trust and rely on to actually implement the work. But that's not enough. You need a very good planning and monitoring system, and ours has evolved over a period of time to ensure that everything is going correctly. These systems combine together a bit like a Rubik's Cube of information, and the changes and the detail in those systems basically provide an early warning system for you, so that what happens is you get a visual idea of where a project should be before you've even walked on it, onto the site or into the office area. And therefore, you suddenly see within a matter of minutes, maybe 15 minutes or less, you can walk around 20 minutes on a building, and we're in the Lloyd's building and the size like this, about 20 minutes, and you would be able to know exactly where you are, how far behind you are, and also where the problem is. And that's fabulous.
Now, your career has seen much success with many acknowledgements and awards. Is this reassuring you that you are making the right decisions and project choices? Are there specific factors involved with Lit PM taking on a particular project? Delivery,
above and beyond. It's going in with the attitude that you won't only deliver a project, but you're also going to deliver an experience the client is going to remember for the rest of their career. It starts from day one. Completion starts from day one. Attitude is not just sort of, let's complete the project, but to go and complete the project and get an award. And that's a very, very different attitude to have, and the team has to have that as well. It's fundamentally different, and you have to live this. You can't just talk about it. I've worked with Olympic athletes and medalists, and I've seen how they have a completely different approach to sport and to training and to getting achieving their goals.
Can you elucidate?
Yeah. Well, here's one to give you an idea. Last year I was helping a German rower, and we spent 3 years getting her into a fit state to get into the national team, and that was achieved. Then get into the finals of World Champions, that was achieved, and eventually get them to the Olympics. Well, we kept on working away at this, and to give you an idea of the training that she would do on a rowing machine in the gym, so everybody listening can have a go at this, 46 strokes on a rowing machine for 2 kilometres. Then 15-minute break, get back onto the machine, do 32 strokes a minute for 21 kilometres. Now that's done 5 times a week. That's the kind of dedication that they have to have in order to get that. She ended up going to London, breaking the world record and getting a silver medal. I'll show you a picture later. And that's a fundamental difference that they have, especially on endurance records. So, when you've got to, they perform not here as a level, but up at the ceiling. And
Wow.
That's what we have to do.
Wow. Now, Lit PM...
That's not easy.
No, it doesn't sound as easy. Lit PM has a varied project portfolio. Are there particular projects or sectors where you have particularly enjoyed yourself? Are there ones that you encourage to push your boundaries?
Well, I've always liked banking and finance projects, which is why we're based here in the city. I'm a bit of a geek, so I really sort of enjoy the new technologies, mixing and matching new technologies to create a brand new solution. I've always found it doesn't bother us to do the experimentation because we find that that's valid as well.
Valid in what sense then?
Well, it's basically if you come up with 2 different technologies and you think, do you know what, if we put that technology together or that little solution there and that solution, we can come up with a much better solution for clients. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, we go back a bit, we were experimenting in the very, very early days of extranets, and I thought, well, this is a great idea. We need to cut our costs for clients. So I put a small team into Dubai and ran the entire banking project over a designed extranet that we came up with, that we designed, and got the project completed without ever going there. How we did this was using webcams, and I managed to sort of manage a project here in London, and I wanted to see that.
Now, there is an impressive gallery of project photographs on your website, a great visual statement on what you have achieved. Do prospective new clients come into contact with your work via website or elsewhere?
No, new clients come casually or by referral rather than through the website. Our weak point is our marketing. I've never gone out to get projects. I seem to stumble across them initially. What normally happens is we get set a task to produce something in a short space of time, and it may be that there's a much larger organisation sitting in the wings. But we tend to find out, and I don't know why this is, we tend to find out things that other groups may have missed. Certainly when we go in and make a presentation, it seems to surprise people. And then we often get taken on board, and we then make, do many projects after that.
Now, Lit PM specialises in providing solutions for its clients. Can you share with us some of the ways you've helped clients with solutions, particularly with cost savings and efficiencies?
Okay, well, if we take the cost savings initially, we were there was a dealer company which had a very large dealer floor here in the city, and they went to consulting engineers and said, look, we've got a problem. We're bringing some new dealers in, the air conditioning system isn't working. How much? So the consulting engineer said, well, it's over £1 million. We got called in, and I just thought, hey, there's something wrong here. And we got basically stuck in. And the reason why there's something wrong is because the way a building is designed, it should have been able to cater for the extra work, a number of people in there. So we got to grips, and we basically set the system back to its standard settings. And then we worked out from there that we were losing lots of air. So we took the ceilings down, went up the shafts, and lo and behold, there were 2 holes in the ductwork the size of the entrance door. And it just been missed. So they got filled up. Suddenly there's more air being pushed through to where the dealers were. We rebalanced the system and came out. The cost of that was about £137,000 instead of £1 million. So we saved money on that one. The second example was an insurance company not far from here. And we had a project to do which was only about 50,000 square foot. And the contractor was brought on board. The contractor, it was a funny week in the construction industry where 4 major contractors went bust in the same week, one of which happened to be the one that we deployed. Ours went bust because there was a loan in Norway, or a project in Norway that they were doing that went completely wrong, and it took the whole group down, though the company we were working for was working for us, was still very viable. So they're the client, there's, no contractor, nothing. So what we did was we stepped in and we hired all the staff of the contractor. We took them on board, they became our staff. So we then went from project manager to project manager and construction manager in the space of 24 hours. We then redid the project. 4 weeks later, the client came up to us and said, there's a merger, we're taking another 50,000 square foot, we need to redesign what you're already doing. Can we get up there and do that? So we took that on board, produced a new budget, but kept the original timetable. And so we completed on time, onto the original time, but also we to the revised budget.
Brilliant.
Now, that's adaptability.
Brilliant. Now, it is your aim to complete projects under budget. How achievable is this generally?
Well, I think it's more achievable than most people realise. The example I've just gone through, it's basically about being adaptable and finding efficient solutions. With our systems and our monitoring systems that we have, they support us right from day one. And so it's really, from our point of view, it's a matter of fact that it's going to be completed on time. You know, why? Well, that's because of the systems, the people, especially, and the processes that we have. And it's what we do. I just can't really explain it. It's just what we do. And why others have a problem with this, I don't understand. It's not belittling that at all. It's I just don't understand it in any shape or form. It might be the way we scope is different. I don't know, but it's never really been a problem for us. I think possibly also it's focus. It's just, you know, we're just, you know, there's going to be a mushroom cloud outside the window before we fail. It's got to be done.
Now you've mentioned that you've won some awards. Can you tell us more about those?
Well, we've got we've been lucky with the awards and nominations. We've won we've got the most recent one we won was the best iPad app project 2011, which we won for Open House, which is the weekend in September when all the homes we designed to build that. And the other ones that we've had are sort of interior ones for the British Council of Offices, we've got the Oscars, the industry Oscars, and which we've got the Reebok Stadium. And basically, you know, as they come.
Now, what type of clients would you like to meet, Stephen?
Well, essentially businesses that are contemplating upsizing, downsizing, or incorporating new technologies into a refurbishment or relocation. Financial clients, property owners of all types, because we have a new facilities management company, and main contractors who are involved principally with power or transport infrastructure.
Now, what does the future hold for you and Lit PM then?
It's quite rosy. We have we're working on a project at the moment in the west of England, which will probably take about 4 years to do. We've set up an FM company because, as I say, a number of property owners I've come across, a number of them aren't too happy with their incumbents, and I feel that there's an area that we can bring focus and also improve service, especially using systems like BIM that would be able to increase the service, shorten the repair times, and also reduce the costs because you're reducing the waste of traffic. On top of that, I think that the industry is getting better. I think it will improve over the next 2 years. We're tooling up with our new work. But the main one I'm looking for is a new commercially-minded partner who's very ambitious. I need someone extra to sort of bounce more ideas off, and also then take that side of the business sort of more off my shoulders to bring me up.
Brilliant.
So that's what we've got.
Lots of changes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, lastly, Stephen, what piece of advice would you give to someone starting out in business?
I give them 3 things. The first one would be get all the education you can, so that you can look forward, understand new technologies, etc., grab them and utilize them and never look backwards. The second one is go on an adventure, crossing the Sahara, crossing the Atlantic, and learn about yourself. Because what this will do will demolish all your boundaries and limitations that you have, and you'll be able to grow. For me, many years ago, I went out on the first time went out across the Sahara, and it completely and utterly changed me. It's been, I came back, I set up a business, I ended up moving into the city of London for a home, and the whole it's just changed the whole of my life. The way that I perceive life and the way that I perceive business as well has completely changed with that. So I definitely suggest they do that. The third thing, and it's not a cliche, everything that's done in business is a team. Even you look at individual sportsmen like Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt doesn't win it. Usain Bolt is a coach, so there's always a team, and you've got to treat every member of that team with respect because each person knows something more about a particular subject than we do. So find out.
Thank you, Stephen. So it's all from me, Edward Daniel, and it's bye from Stephen Partridge.
Everyone, goodbye.
Have a terrific week.